Hey, you guys, it's Matt Fraser, the psychic medium, and I am live right now. So come on in and join me. We are going to talk about where is your soul before you are born. Now, I think that this is one of the most interesting things about our journey here on earth. And that's because all of us have spent time in heaven. And we've actually spent time with our angels, our spirit guides, and our loved ones before we're even born. What's crazy is this, all right? I just want you guys to think about this for 1 minute. Just think about this. Think about the fact that before we are born, we exist. Just think about that, right? Have you ever thought about what happens? Where's our soul? Where actually are we before we're born? Well, we actually still exist. We just don't exist here in this world. And I got to tell you guys, this has been mind-blowing for me. Being a psychic medium and learning what actually happens to our soul before we're born here in this world is something that I want to share with all of you, and something that still to this day gives me the chills. It gives me the chills when I talk to your loved ones in spirit. It gives me the chills when I see it, meaning that there's many times where I'll connect with souls that haven't been born yet. I'm going to tell you guys about that. And I also want to talk to you guys about some of the things that happened in your life before you were born. But first of all, I want to say hello to all of you. Yes, Anna Smith, I see you. I'm sorry, Anna S is here. I don't know why I said Anna Smith. That's so funny. I see that Gina is here. I see Rebecca M is here. I see Beth Sprague is here. This is what happens when you talk to too many dead people, you guys. I live life in between this world and the other side. Sarah's here. I also see Jen is here. Pam Jones is here. I also see that Natasha is here as well. You guys, I am so freaking excited to see all of you. Thank you guys for tuning in and being here on my lives. And if you love my lives, please share so this way it gets to as many people as possible, because I know that there's a big psychic community right here on Facebook and YouTube that love to join us as well. So make sure that you guys help me get the word out. And also what I want you guys to know is that if you haven't been to one of my recent Facebook lives or YouTube lives, here's where I'm coming on tour. So starting this month, I am back on tour, you guys, and I am coming to give live readings up close and personal. So if you'd like to come and meet me and join me for a live reading, here's where I'm going to be. I'm going to be giving live readings in Moncton, New Brunswick, Canada. I'm coming on September 29th to Casino, New Brunswick. Then I'm heading to Harris, Michigan for 2 nights. I'll be giving live readings on October 6th and October 7th at the Islands Resort Casino. Then I'm heading to Laughlin, Nevada. I'm heading to the Edgewater Casino there. I'm also coming to Bethlehem, Pennsylvania for the very first time, where I'll be giving live readings at the Wind Creek Event Center. I am coming to, oh my God, where else am I coming? Oh, Omaha, Nebraska, you guys, for the very first time. I'm also coming to Kansas City, Missouri for the very first time. I'm coming to Foxwoods Resort Casino in Connecticut. And I'm also coming to Santa Rosa, California, to the Luther Burbank Center for the Arts. And I'm also coming to Wheatlands, California, where I'll be giving live readings at the Hard Rock, Sacramento. So if you're anywhere near those places, you guys, you can get tickets right on my website, meetmattfraser.com. And while I have you here as well, if you can't see me live and in person, I also have some news for you. When I am not on tour, I give readings right here in this office for those of you who can't join me. So if you can't join me live on tour, what I want you to know is you can join me for a live online video reading from home. This is where I help you connect with your loved ones in spirit right here in this office. But you got to make sure that you're signed up. So right now, September is completely sold out. October is sold out, but there's a few dates left in November. And here's some good news, you guys. Many of you guys said to me, Matt, I want to attend an online reading with you, but they start too early. What do I do? Well, what I want you guys to know is that starting in November, I think it's November, is it November? Hold on. Starting in November 2nd, that's a Thursday, the online readings will start at 8:00 p.m. So if you weren't able to attend an online reading before because they started too early, during the week, starting November 2nd, the weekday online readings will start at 8:00 p.m. So to reserve your spot, just go to meetmattfraser.com and click on online readings. Like I said, September is sold out. October is completely sold out. But I have a few dates, I have a few dates left in November where you can join me. Just make sure your spot is reserved while there's still time. All right, you guys, let's talk about it. What happens before you're born? And first of all, if you have any questions about this topic, make sure that you leave it in the comments because I love to know what you guys are thinking and I love to answer your questions live as well. And I see a lot of you guys are really excited about the new time. I see that Turning Lessons to Blessings says, woo, I'm from England, from New England. Perfect. I said England. These comments go by so fast, you guys. And I also see that that Peggy Sue says, I'll see you at Foxwoods. Thank you, Peggy. I'm so happy that you're coming. And I also see that everyone's all excited about the 8 o'clock online reading events. I am too. All right, you guys. So here's how I first learned that we exist before we're born. Is that many times when I connect with your loved ones on the other side, your loved ones are not alone. Not only are they with friends and family members that have passed on before them, but listen to this, okay? Just listen to me. Your mom, your dad, whoever you lost in your life, are also with children that haven't been born yet here in this world. This is very common. It's very common for me when I'm doing a reading to see your mom, your dad, your sister, your brother with a soul that hasn't been born yet here in this world. And you might be like, Matt, what the hell are you talking about? Well, if you've ever been to a psychic medium and a psychic medium like myself says, oh my God, I see that you're going to have 2 kids, or I see a grandchild is going to be born in the family, or your mother's telling me that your daughter's going to have 2 girls and 1 boy. And you're like, Matt, how do you know that? Or how does my mother know that? Well, it's because your mother has those souls in heaven with her before they're even born here in this world. It's really cool because our journey starts when our soul enters our body, enters our body here in this world, right? And our body starts to form and develop in the womb. But what's really cool is that we first start off as a soul on the other side. So what I want you guys to know is that many of you have heard me talk about the life review, which happens before we die, right? So that happens as on our way out of this world, right before we die, and as we die, right before we get to the other side, is what I'm trying to say. We go through the life review. And during that life review, you meet your spirit guide, your guardian angel, your loved ones, you get reconnected with them, and you see everything about your life. You see the things you are supposed to do, right? You see the people you're supposed to meet. It's revealed to you who your soulmate is. You see all these amazing things about your life. But there's something that not many psychics and mediums know about. Actually, I don't know about one psychic or medium that's ever talked about this. And there's something that happens before we're born, and that's called the life preview. So we have 2 things that happen. The life review, which is when we die. We see every part of our life. We see who our soulmate was, the people that we've helped, the people that we've hurt, all of our talents, skills, and abilities. We see all the people in our life, right, that cared about us and loved us and our connection with them. It's revealed to us what our life journey was, what we were actually doing here in this world. Well, before we're even born, we go through something called the life preview. So the life preview, all right, is the life preview is what, why do I say that like that? The life preview, oh my God, I don't know why that's such a tongue twister right now. The life preview happens before we are born, okay? And before you're born, you meet a lot of different people. You meet the souls that have passed on before you, right? Like your grandparents, your great-grandparents. You also meet extended family members, but you also meet 2 important souls. You meet your spirit guide and you meet your guardian angel that are meant to help you here in this world and are meant to be by your side as you go through life. So what I want you guys to know is this, is that the life preview is really amazing because when you're on the other side, before you're even born, you get a little glimpse of the journey that you're about to go through. But what's really cool about this is, if you think about it, we were all in heaven with one another. You once met your mom, your dad, your sister, your brother, even before you were born here in this world, right? And that's what's so crazy. To think about, we were all, before we started our journey, we were all in heaven with one another, right? We were all with our mom, our dad, our sister, our brother. Then we were all born here in this world, right? And then we all go to the other side and we go back to one another. It's absolutely crazy. It's like one big circle, you guys. So the life preview happens when you're just a soul getting ready to be born here in this world. And what's really cool is that you get to take some time to get to know the people who died before you. You get to know your grandparents. You get to know your grandparents' love. You get to know your grandmother's love, your grandfather's love, right? All the people that passed before you were born, you get to meet. And that's why sometimes children will be born here in this world and carry mannerisms that didn't come from their mom or their dad. For example, if you went and you were in heaven, let's say with your grandmother, right? And your grandmother passed before you were born. You might be born here in this world and say things like your grandmother used to say, or have some type of a talent, skill, or ability that your grandmother had, and your parents are kind of shaking their head saying, like, wait a minute, that's so weird. That's like my mother. My mother was just that way, right? Well, it's because of the fact that during that life preview, right, you went and you spent time with your grandmother and your grandparents. For example, I'll tell you a story. This is one that I'll never, ever forget. There was this woman that I was connecting with, and she was so freaked out because her mother, when she was a little girl, her mother always used to tease her, and she used to say, oh, if you eat your crust on your grilled cheese, it's going to make your hair curly. And her mom always used to tell her that as a little girl, eat the crust, it'll make your hair curly, it'll give you curls. And nobody ever said that. It was just something her mom made up. Well, what was really weird was that she forgot about her mom saying that. Obviously, her mom said that to her when she was just a little girl. And then years went by, her mom had passed away. She had her daughter. And then when she had her daughter, many years later, when the daughter was about 3 years old, she looked at her mom and she said, "Mommy, if I have to eat I have to eat the crust because it's going to make my hair curly." And the mother was like, "Where did you hear that?" And she says, "Oh, someone told me that." And she's like, "Who told you?" She goes, I heard it, but I don't remember who told me, Mommy. Well, she knew right at that moment. She had chills on her spine. She knew that it was her mother in heaven. And she didn't quite know. She was like, how did my mother possibly go and tell my daughter, right, this thing that she used to tell me when I was just a little girl? It completely freaked her out. She didn't know how it had happened. Well, it happens because during that life preview, when that little girl was on the other side, she was there with her grandmother. This is what's so cool. And this is the reason why children see and hear spirit when they're so little and they're not afraid, right? Everybody always asks me, Matt, why were you afraid when you were a little kid, when you saw spirit? Well, it's different, okay? I want to explain this to you. When all children will see and hear spirit. You once saw and heard spirit, but you probably don't remember it because most kids don't, right? Just like you don't remember taking your first steps or the first food that you ate, we don't remember seeing the spirit world. Because two kids, what's so amazing is they start their journey in heaven, they're born here in this world, and the same people that are watching over them on the other side before they're born, when they go through their life preview, are watching them when they enter here in this world. So children don't get scared when they see family members they know. That's why, a lot of times they'll have imaginary friends. And your child might talk to a grandfather that had died before them, right? A great aunt that passed before them. Maybe it was your brother who passed before your son or your daughter was born and they see them, right? They're never afraid of this because to them, they're used to those souls already because they already met them in heaven. What was different for me when I was a little boy is that I went and I saw souls that I had no idea who they were. I saw souls, next to my bed, sitting by my side, and I had no idea who they were. They were souls that I had never met before, souls who died in the nearby area. And it's actually funny, you guys, because I remember the first soul that I ever saw, the first soul that ever appeared to me as a psychic kid was my grandmother. When I was first a little boy, my grandmother first passed away. She was the first soul that came to me, and I was never afraid of her, because I didn't even know she died. But it was crazy because once my grandmother started visiting me, other souls started visiting, souls that I didn't know, souls that had either passed in the nearby area or souls that died tragically that were using me to get messages to their loved one. And that's what freaks me out because I wasn't familiar with these souls. But that's the reason why children don't fear spirits when they see them. A lot of time they just mistake them as imaginary friends. And even now, to this day, there's times when I'll see children interacting with spirits, and there'll be spirits that are there. Like, for example, you might have had the situation happen where you have a granddaughter or a young child that, is only 1 or 2 years old, and they're interacting with someone who's not there, right? Just the other day, it was crazy because we were all together, Actually, me and Alexa's family were together because they're Greek. So every year we're gonna go to the Greek feast. That's our yearly tradition in Cranston. They have a big Greek festival, and we all go and we get the Greek food and whatnot. So we're all sitting down as a family, and we're eating the Greek food, and it was amazing and everything. And we're giving Royce his first helping of Greek food and whatnot. And then it was crazy because Royce turned around the high chair and he started giggling, and then all of a sudden he's waving, right? And we all knew what was happening. We all knew who he was seeing. And right away at that moment, we knew that he was seeing, my grandfather that had passed away right at that moment. So it's amazing because it's just so incredible to see the way that little kids interact with spirits. And unfortunately, for many of them, that bond is just broken, right? That bond just goes away later on in time. They forget about that bond that they have to their loved ones. They forget about that psychic ability. They forget about that psychic cord that connects them to heaven, but it's still there. But what I want you guys to know is this. What I want you guys to know, Alex says that Matt is like the Liberace of mediums. Don't you like the blazes? I gotta tell you, I love this blaze. This is like my essence, you guys. This is like my signature look. By the way, it's so funny. This just came back from the tailors. My believe it or not, my neighbor made this for me, and I had to get. I got a better. I had her make another one. So this just came in. So I'm testing it out tonight with all of you guys. But this is my essence right here. So anyway, what I want you guys to know is this, is that before you're born, your whole life is explained to you, right? And we forget about these moments. We forget about these interactions that we have with our loved ones and our spirit guide and all of these people. But they don't forget about us. And then one day when you pass on, when you leave this world and you go through your life review, all of a sudden, when you meet your spirit guide and you meet your guardian angel and you meet all of these people, you're going to be like, oh my God, I know you. Wait a minute. I know you were so-and-so, right? It's almost like when you run into somebody. It's almost like when you run into somebody that you haven't seen in so long. And you're like, at first you're like, wait a minute. Remind me your name again. And then they tell you. And then all of a sudden it might take you a minute. And you're like, oh my God, that was so-and-so. I got to tell you, I don't know if it's because I'm Italian or what it is. This happens all the time with my mother. Does this happen to your loved ones, by the way? We'll be like at the store and somebody will say hello to us. And my mother will be like, oh, hi, oh, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And then the person will go away and then, say goodbye. And then my mother will be like, who is that? And I'll be like, Ma, don't you remember? Ma, that was our old neighbor. They lived over here and blah, 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 blah. And then my mother will be like, oh, that was her? What? That was so-and-so? Oh my God, I had no idea. Yes. Oh my God, I can't believe it. I didn't know. And I'm like, Mom, are you kidding me? How could you have not known this? Is it me is it only me that this happens to? Is it only me? Or does it happen? Okay, Kim says my dad does that too. Every time, you guys. Ava Barry says all the time. My mother never knows who anybody is. She'll see somebody at a party at my house, right? Say hi to them, know them, have a full conversation. 2 weeks later, she'll meet the same person, not know who the hell it was, all right? So I'm going to tell you, that happens all. Oh, all right. Teresa says it happens. Antonella saying, I'm glad. I love that you're Italian. Gina says it happens to me a lot. All right. Well, at least I know. I just tell my mother all the time, Ma, how the hell am I going to know when you're actually losing it? Like, how am I going to know? I really am never. If my mother loses it, I'm not going to know because I deal with this every day. But anyway, that's another story for another time. Oh my God. Dana's saying that you're fresh. Dana, I got to say the truth, Dana. You know what I'm saying? I got to say that. Listen, I'm sorry. You know me. I'm unfiltered. I say it like it is. What can I tell you? Right? So everyone's saying it's me. That's me. Don't tell me you're that bad. Oh my God. Everyone can relate with that. Anyway, what I want you guys to know is that that's what happens when we pass away. We automatically just know everybody. It starts to come back to us and we start to realize all the people that were connected with us here in this world. And then all of a sudden, it's like this big circle that we go through where everybody that, we met during our life preview, we meet in the life review. So that's what's so cool. And I got to tell you guys that, what's so amazing is that that's the reason why when your loved ones pass the other side, they feel such a comfort because heaven isn't a strange place to them. Heaven isn't a place where they're like, oh Oh my God, I'm actually here. Oh my God, what the hell, right? Your loved ones aren't like, this is weird. I got to get used to this, right? Heaven is a place that feels like home, that feels like they've already been there, right? How many of you have gone and maybe, like, for example, I'll give you an example. This and tell me if this makes sense. Because I try to use analogies, you guys, that we go through as humans to help us understand the afterlife. And tell me if I'm doing a good job, but you can tell me if you think that I'm completely off. But for example, when Alexa and I were going on our honeymoon, Alexa has really, really bad anxiety. So Alexa has really bad anxiety where she has to know what a place is like before she goes there. And I got to tell you, I'm kind of the same way. Not that I have anxiety, but I get like anticipation. Maybe I do have like a little anxiety now that I think about it. But anyways, now I do the same thing. So for example, we were going to Sandals, Barbados on a honeymoon. So when we went to Sandals, Barbados, Alexa and I must have ordered every brochure. We ordered every brochure, every tour book. We watched YouTube video after YouTube video after YouTube video. We watched like the room tours, the resort tours, what they had for dinner. We checked out all the menus. We did the 3D virtual tours. Well, anyways, you guys, by the time I got to Barbados, it was our first time ever going to Barbados, our first time ever going to that resort, right? And when we got there, I felt like, oh, all right, I already know where everything is. I knew where the cafeteria was. I knew where the restaurants were. I knew where the different pools were. I knew everything about the place. I didn't even need a friggin' tour because I already went online and I saw all about it, right? So I got to tell you, it's the same thing with death, right? Is that when you first transition onto the other side, it's not scary, you guys. It's not like you're like, where the hell am I, right? It's not like you see in movies. I see a lot of you guys are saying you do that also. Tony Butler saying we do that also, right? I also see that Rosanna saying I do that as well. Well, what I want you guys to know. Oh my God. So turning lessons to blessings, and you're probably giving the other guests tours. But what I want you guys to know, oh, thank you, Tiffany. She says, I freaking love your accent. Thank you. But what I want you guys to know is it's that same thing that happens when we die. Because we've already been to heaven, because we've already been there before, when you get to heaven, it's like, going through the different YouTube videos and knowing where you were. It's like you come in and you're like, oh, okay. Yup, I understand. Yup, I know what this. And you just automatically feel at peace. No one's in heaven saying, oh my God, all right, wait a minute, hold on. How do I find my grandmother in heaven? How do I find my grandfather? It's a place that you already recognize, you already know, right? It's just familiar to you. It's almost like when you say, like, you know how like you forget how to ride a bike, but you never really forget. You get back on the bike and you know how to ride it. It's just like that. It's just like you're home. Like that's the only way I can describe it. It's a familiar place to you. And it's just like deja vu. So that's one of the things that I want you guys to know. And like a lot of you guys are asking me, like, deja vu, yeah, just like that, just like that. So you've already been there. You've already visited heaven. You were, and it just remembers that. Just remembers that. Remember that. Why can't I talk tonight? Remember that you existed before you were born, and you existed with your loved ones in spirit. And I also want you to know this because how many people stress out and they come to me and they say, Matt, but I got to know, did my mom get to see my granddaughter? Did my dad get to meet his grandson? And they are talking about when their grandson was born here in this world, right? But the thing is that your loved ones have already met your grandson, your granddaughter, your son or your daughter, even if that birth happened after they had died because they met their soul in heaven. And it's so, so, so beautiful. So, oh my God, thank you so much, Dana. Dana says you talk fine and you explain it so well. I try. It's hard to understand these things, right? Because we're humans. We've never died. I've never even died, right? So when I talk to your loved ones in spirit, I always ask them to explain it to me so I can explain it to all of you. So that's one of the things that I really want you guys to know. And what I also want you to know is this, is that when you transition on and when you go to the other side, something else is revealed to you. It's also revealed to you how you changed the world. And every time I say this, everybody kind of doesn't understand, right? Like people will say to me all the time, well, Matt, how the hell did I change the world? I didn't do anything, right? I didn't live a grand life. Well, the thing is that you may have inspired somebody. You may have made someone's day. You may have done something for someone else that went off that inspired someone else. And that someone, inspired the world, right? Like you don't realize how much the world needs you. And that's the one thing that I find so amazing once we get to the other side, is that the spirit world explains to us why we were put here on this earth. Our lives are meant, our lives are meant to inspire, teach, and more importantly, our lives have meant something worth more than we can ever imagine here in this world. And it's revealed to us once we get to the other side. So I want to share with you guys that as well. So, oh my God, thank you so much. Jen says to me, wait, I got to go back to that comment. Jen Lynch goes, Matt, you are like no other medium. You explain things so clearly. Well, you know what? I got to be honest with you guys. A lot of the things that I teach and that I explain, right? Like everything that I talk to you guys about, I share this because of the fact that how do I know these things? How do I know about what your loved ones are doing? Well, when I do a reading, when I connect with your loved ones in spirit, they show me who they're with, what's going on the other side. They show me what heaven is like for them. And they actually show me when I'm connecting with them what their death and dying process has been like, what it's been like for them to go the other side. And I take all of these things that I've learned and I share it with all of you, because the thing is this, okay? The thing is that I was never taught to be a psychic medium. There's no school like Hogwarts and Harry Potter where you can just go and learn to be a medium, right? Everything that I learned from talking to the spirit world. I used to spend hours in meditation. Every time I would do a reading for somebody, I would ask the souls different questions because I'd be curious myself, right? So that's one of the things that, I like to do. And this is a really good question, actually. Kenny's asking me, Matt, can anyone learn to be a medium? So what the spirit world tells me is that we all have a special gift. We all have a way to connect with the other side, right? We all have a way to use our own phone line to heaven. But people will come to me all the time and say, Matt, I want to be just like you. Teach me to be like you. And I can't teach you guys to see and hear dead people, right? What I can teach you, though, is how to use your own psychic ability, whatever that might be, to connect with the other side. God has given us all a unique way to reach our loved ones. Some of us are psychic through our dreams. Some of us are psychic through our thoughts. Some of us hear the departed, see the departed, think about the departed, just get sudden thoughts that share messages, right? Some of us have intense feelings, right? This is all part of your psychic ability. Each one of you has a very different gift. Some people receive signs through music. Some people receive signs through dreams. Some people receive signs through nature, right? There's a different way that heaven reaches out to all of us. So I can't teach everybody to see and hear dead people, but I can teach you how to tap into your own psychic gift and tools to help you on your journey to connecting with the other side, right? I can even tell you that even in my family, my grandmother was a medium, but my grandmother used to get premonitions of things before they happened. My mom is a life psychic. My mom is someone who, when she reads for somebody, she gets visions about their life. She can see deep into the future. She can see who your soulmate is, who you're going to marry, what's going to happen with the divorce, things like that. Where me, the way that my gift has always been is I've always seen and heard dead people, and I primarily hear the other side, right? I'll hear little whispers like names, dates, and places being whispered to me. But you all have a gift as well. There's all a way that you can connect with the spirit world. So that's why me and my mom, if you guys haven't heard, all right, there's only a few spots left. On October 30th, the night before Halloween, me and my mom are doing an online psychic seance where we will be helping you make contact with the spirits that are that are there and around you. So if you want to learn how to connect with your own psychic gift, I'm bringing my mom on for this very special live online Zoom event. You can join from anywhere in the world. Just make sure you register at meetmattfraser.com. It's a limited event, you guys, and there's only a few spots left. So during this event, me and my mom are going to be doing readings, answering questions, and we're also going to be teaching you how to connect with the other side. So if you're a medium or a psychic, or you feel you have an intuitive ability, or maybe you don't and you want to know how to tap in, make sure you're part of that event. It's only happening one night only. The night before Halloween, that's the time when the spirit world is the strongest, and it's the perfect time to practice your own psychic ability. So this is a very uplifting event, you guys. Nothing spooky about it. It's about learning the safe ways to make contact with the spirits around you. So if you want to be a part of that event with me and my mom, just go to meetmattfraser.com and click on online readings, and you'll see October 30th listed there, but you got to make sure you have your spot reserved right now. There's only a few spots left, and once we're sold out, we're sold out. And something else I'm going to tell you guys as well. I just announced that I'm going to be doing some online readings in November. So this is really amazing. September is completely sold out. Every online reading in September is sold out. October, completely sold out, you guys, except for the psychic seance. And then I want you to know that in November, I just added some online readings as well. So if you'd like to join me in November, here's the good news. I know a lot of you guys wrote to me and you're like, Matt, I really want to attend an online reading, but I don't get out of work in time. Matt, I really want to attend an online reading, but they start too early, right? I'm talking about the weekday events. So we switched the times. In November, starting in November, the online readings during the week will be at 8 o'clock p.m. So if you'd like to join me for a live online reading, it's only $19 to attend, but you got to make sure you have your spot reserved at meetmattfraser.com. That's meetmattfraser.com. So just go to this website, click on online readings. The next online reading is happening November 2nd. It starts at 8 o'clock p.m. So plenty of time for you to come and join. And during that event, I go and read as many people as possible. Don is saying, Matt, is October the same? Nope. October starts at 7 o'clock p.m. November is the first month that we're going to try it. We're going to start it at 8 o'clock p.m. So if everybody likes it, we're going to keep the time at 8 o'clock. So if you'd like to go and join me, what I want you guys to know is head on over to meetmattfraser.com. Click on online readings and reserve your spot. We have November 2nd and November 4th available, but you've got to reserve your spot right now or join me for the online psychic seance. And I want to thank you guys so much for being here and being a part of this. I also want you guys to know I'm going back on tour at the end of the month. I'm coming to Moncton, Canada. I'll be giving readings at Casino New Brunswick in Moncton, New Brunswick, Canada. I'm also coming to Harris, Michigan on October 6th and October 7th. I am coming to Laughlin, Nevada, where I'll be giving live readings at the Edgewater Resort Casino. I'm also coming to Foxwoods Resort Casino, where I'll be giving live readings there on December 9th in Connecticut. I am also coming to Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, where I'll be giving live readings at the Wind Creek Event Center. I am coming to Kansas City, Missouri. I am coming to Omaha, Nebraska, Santa Rosa, California, and Sacramento, California. All the tour dates are up on my website if you'd like to join me live and in person. And if you'd like to book a live online reading with me, stop what you're doing, head to meetmattfraser.com and reserve your spot before it's too late. But I really hope that this live helped you tonight. If it did in some way, please share it and pass it on. And remember that you are never alone. Your loved ones are always with you. And no matter where you go, they're there, so proud of you, by your side, and watching over you always. So until next time, I'll see you soon, and trust in the signs.